Welcome back, you giggling gals. Time to wrap up our gallivant through Calandra for now. This is our final deep dive episode of Shield of Sparrows by Devney Perry. Warning, while we may be your giggling gal pals, we don't recommend listening to this podcast around little ears or ears that may be offended because we say bad words and shitty things.
This is literally the last episode of Deep Diving. The book has been spoiled for you at this point because we're about to go over the ending.
Deep diving like Odessa.
Yeah, I'm
I'm
diving, guys.
like a bird.
Reminder that thoughts, feelings, theories, and just things we say can evolve, change, be debunked, or just be completely off the rails. Regardless, it's all for fun and not that deep.
Okay, let's start
Wait,
off.
you didn't say that's what she said. Now the whole podcast episode is ruined.
Oh my God, but I was ready to jump into this because you
Okay,
did this.
no.
Let's go, bitch.
All right.
That's what I was gathering.
2, 3, let's go, bitch, go.
Let's go, bitch, go. Okay, serious question. Where are the Crux migrating to and from? Like, we know they are made by the Shades. We know it's every 30 years, but where are they in between?
Do you think that they hang out in each shade and then they move to a different shade?
Maybe they're protectors of certain shades. Who knows?
Maybe the Crux are actually gods that have a curse and they have to every 30 years it's somebody's turn.
I mean, that would kind of play into, like, are they cursed people, cursed by the gods? Are they children of the gods? Like, are they oops babies?
Little oopsies. Mm-hmm.
Isaac was like, ugh, no thank you.
What do you want to say, Kai?
Let's relax those shoulders, unclench those jaws, and begin our journey. You might as well clamp that clam because we are really going to get into it today.
Consider this clam clenched.
Yeah, I said clamped, not.
Clamp that clam, okay, guys?
It's not wrong.
It's not. It's just different.
Chapter 55. So this chapter starts out really great, and within the first few paragraphs, we have this erotic line. The dusting of hair across his chest tickled my nipples as he hauled me closer, pressing our bodies together, erasing any space. And I really just feel like it needs to be said right here. Like, did I think I would ever hear those words in particular order? No, but I'm here for it. Was that your erotic line that you liked in the book?
No, but I enjoy it. It's funny to me.
The first time I read it, I was like, that is the wildest sentence. Just like dusting
His
of
chest hair tickled her nipple.
yeah, tickled my nipples. I don't
Really
know.
got her going.
My nipples are not ticklish.
Are they not? I don't think they are either. I'm tickling right
Okay.
now. They don't feel ticklish to me, you know?
I just are you happy to see me?
Pulling Rachel Green over here.
You're just channeling your inner 90s.
Mm.
I'm gonna take a deep breath before I start this paragraph.
Probably smart.
Ransom and Odessa spent 2 weeks finally figuring out you want love, we'll make it. Swim in a deep sea of blankets, take all your big plans and break them. This is bound to be a while. And then they discovered to one another, your body is a wonderland. Your body is a wonder. I'll use my hands. Your body is a wonderland. Ransom blamed himself for Odessa almost getting killed, so he was kind of treating her like porcelain. Xavier got hella weird too when he would visit to keep up with appearances. Luella also pieced out of Elder without telling anyone except leaving a note for Baby E that she would be back soon. Big Calf left a book for Odessa, and while Ransom and Xavier were talking one day, she took it out to look at it. It was an encyclopedia of sorts. Its pages were filled with summaries and drawings of different leaves and roots. But unlike most of the book, Big Calf had brought me. But unlike most of the books Catherine had brought me, this seemed more akin to a journal than a printed book. The pages were handwritten, the drawings sketched and hand-colored, with no author or artist listed, and some blank pages. Little guardian angel, Big Cat, pushing her in the right direction, and she doesn't even realize it yet. That's why I think she's sent from God. Like, well, nudge.
Well, nudge, nudge.
The page Odessa opened it up to was on Cave Ginger with a drawing. She described it as the drawing was of the outer shell, the plant more like a berry, and a green so dark it was black, a green that matched Lissa blood. This gets Odessa thinking about Big Cat, what Big Cat said in the dungeon weeks prior. Their book slew. I'm giving that poor girl something to read. That's all. And so now she's like, why am I getting these books? And why doesn't Lou know? She was trying to put the pieces together, but Ransom interrupted her thoughts.
I'm going to read what was in here about cave ginger. They're native to Ozark, harvested in bogs. Outer skin gives off a rancid smell, but when peeled pulp can be But when peeled pulp can be shaped and dried with sugar crystals, commonly sold as candy. Peel is typically discarded. When boiled and fermented, pulp can be used as pigment. When ingested, it's also good for healing. Allagash shed their hides in bogs, possibly absorbed in the peel. Testing for this was extensive. Okay, so what else has a rancid smell? Her frickin' hair color. And when it's boiled and fermented, the pulp can be used as pigment. What does this mean? Unclear. But if an allagash sheds their hides in bogs and they use that as hair color, did this help heal her when she was poisoned? Would that attract other monsters? I mean, we do absorb hair color in real life into our bodies, so it's possible that she absorbed some allagash magic on top of her own magic she may or may not have. Just a thought.
Why mention the hair dye smell so much, which we have talked about so fucking much? And the other smell we get is cave ginger, which is used to create Lissa. Coincidence? I think not.
No, I agree.
Something's going on there. We always say that though. Something's going on in this whole book. What a concept.
What a concept. We don't know what's happening.
Big Cat, that sneaky snake, not only in the right place at the right time, but planting seeds that will lead her to the truth. She has to have a correlation with Daria, like the goddess of love, which would make me wonder if Daria is the one influencing Odessa heavily right now. Odessa seems to get everything that she wants. Everything she has asked Xavier or Ransom for, she has received. She wants answers to things, and Big Cat is placed into her life and always guides her where she needs to go and to get answers. There's another instance with Banner at another point where she declares what she wants and she gets it. It's like Daria is telling her that she is on the right path and she's rewarding her.
I'm fully on board with this theory.
Thank you.
So Odessa's trying to figure out her hunch. The things that are going through her brain are Alisaria, Ozarth, Lane, Cave Ginger, Allagash, I wrote that wrong, Fennec, and Magic.
So Odessa is ready to talk about what happened and how that man that tried to kill her had Lissa. Finally, it comes out that whoever gave that man Lissa knows Ransom has it, and they are trying to recreate him, and he was from Alisaria. Odessa marches out and heads to Big Calf and interrupts her lesson with Baby E. Xavier takes Baby E for a walk so Odessa can put the pieces together. She immediately asks Big Calf how long the king has been attempting to juice his guys up, but Big Calf has taken a blood oath and can't talk about the King's Fight Club. She figures out the reason soldiers leave home and are never heard from again. He's trying to replicate the Guardian to create men with powers that might stand a chance against the Crux, but it's not working. Lissa is killing them instead. But it's not the king whom she made the oath to. Just then, Luella walks in, and what does she have? Cave Ginger. Odessa then whispers, "It's you," and knows Luella has a story to tell. I don't know why I whisper things. It's creepy when I whisper. It's not cute.
It is a little bit like, I see dead people. When you
Yeah, I'm channeling Sixth Sense, not like sexy whispers.
No.
I don't think she'd be going for a sexy whisper right there either. So it'd probably like the Sixth Sense is a little more accurate. So there's a moment where the book says, "The heavy silence made my skin itch. Why wasn't Catherine telling us?" And I just wonder if it's literal because someone placed in her life to help her wasn't helping her. Did it like set her magic off? But it could just be a solid adjective.
I think it is her magic. It's like that hunch that she has knows this is important information. Maybe not just her magic, but maybe her little guardian goddess luck as well. Being like, hey, girl, pay attention to this lady and what she has to say right now.
The goddess can't use words, so she's like, "Let me tickle you."
Not with hair from my nipples, but like just a little tickle, you know?
Maybe that was actually what was happening. That was a sense.
Maybe.
When they're When Odessa's figuring things out and thinks the pieces, the seeds Kathleen has planted, the threads she'd woven, pulled taut, it just seems like a fate thing. A lot of times fate is spoken about being woven. The fates themselves weaved humans' destiny. Clotho spun the thread of life, Lachesis, I don't know, measured the allotted length, and Atropos cut it off with shears, which is how they weaved mortals' destiny. So, going back to my theory of Daria being on her side, the word choice of the thread she'd woven pulled taut seems like she meant to do this, and she's heading in the right direction.
I mean, Taylor Swift has a little ditty, not about Jack and Diane, but it's called Invisible String. And it's about how fate was like an invisible string leading her to her lover boy that she's now no longer with. But, it's like this. She's got this invisible string pulling her to where she needs to go.
That guy
That,
she's interested in,
that guy.
that guy that sets her Peter tingle off.
Chapter 56. Ransom, hold on. Ransom whipped his head to his mom and asked, "What have you done?" Big Cat tells Lou it's over, but Luella says she needs more time. She will find a way to undo this. A heavy silence fills the room. Luella finally speaks. "We stand no chance against the Crux. We'll die trying to fight them. And I will not lose my children to the shades in some underground shelter where they're left to rot for weeks and weeks. We must be stronger to survive a migration." Odessa connects the two that this all started from a good place, a mother's love. Kylie, let me explain to you what that means. So picture
I didn't read the chapters.
I forgot I said this. So picture this. You have a mom and she loves you,
So can't relate.
obviously. As someone who's experienced your mother's love, I'll say
You're not missing out. No wheat thins for me. No special cracker pizza for me. Just you.
no. Can't relate.
So Ransom's body had vibrated with rage, with hurt, his eyes silver. The monster was trying to break free from its leash. Do we think that there's like a actual monster inside of him, like the Hulk? Which is really ironic that I named my new cat Bruce Banner. Dr. Bruce Banner esteemed.
Yeah, you have to say the doctor. He deserves that.
Right.
He went through schooling.
Absolutely. The School of Hard Knocks. My cat, who wasn't a street cat.
Mm-mm. He's a Maine Coon, though, okay? He's got some gangster in him already.
He's his own little monster.
Possible.
Just picture Ransom mad. Also, how sad. In chapter 32, there's a story. When I was a boy, my mother brought me here for the first time. She made me sit beside her for an hour, even though all I wanted to do was chase around and hunt for berries. At the time, it felt like punishment. Now I see what she was trying to do. It was one of those lessons I couldn't appreciate until I got older. There was no lesson. She was foraging for the berries for Lissa. I mean, she wanted to kill him too, but like, she created this monster.
Literally. Well, this got out of hand by variables that she didn't expect, aka monster saliva is a potent motherfucker. You can see her motivation. She lost her entire family and she refused to let that happen to her children.
What happens if Ransom like spits in her mouth?
Couldn't tell you. I don't know.
What if he just spit on that thing?
Well, I think there is spitting that's happening when they're doing things. So saliva is.
What if she had a cut and he spit on it? I think it's a really valid question. It is a legitimate question. Not the best way to ask it.
But maybe it's fine because she's already has a little bit of this in her. Wink, wink. Due to the fennec poisoning, so it's not having the same effect. Was it so hard for you not to make a joke? Yeah, you did well. You did well.
Okay, but okay, so if his saliva is that potent, what about the other liquid that comes out?
No, yeah, I know. I already was going there in my
Like,
brain.
how potent do you think that is? Maybe that's the cure.
Is monster sperm?
Yes, not monster sperm. Like maybe Ransom. Like we're not jacking
He
off
is a
3-year-olds.
monster. Ransom is a monster.
So we're just gonna have to jack off the marrow wheels. So for healing.
Sexual healing.
Yes, we solved it. You're welcome, Devney.
So she's writing book 2 right now. I'm just gonna send her a DM. Like, hey, you might have been worried about where this was going. We figured it out. Monster
We
sperm.
got this for you. It's gonna say co-written by Blakely Olson and Kylie Fua.
Inspired by monster sperm.
This is not a GM fairy book.
No. Ransom is like, what did you do, Mom? Luella goes on that she can't lose you or E-Baby. I did what I thought was best to keep you safe and alive, not or alive. Ransom is like, huh, weird, because you created this and it's killing me. He shows her his sexy varicose veins and he tells her he can feel it sucking the life out of him every day. She said she can undo this. She'll find a cure, but Ransom sneers at her and says there is no cure. Odessa convinces him to hear her out, so we get some questions answered. Did you create Lissa? Yes. Lissa is magical, and she is not, but Calandra has magic. Just look at the different eyes in this room, which sparks Odessa to ask herself some questions. What if the magic went beyond the soil, beyond eye color and Voster magic? Luella continues, I believe the monsters of Calandra are part of the magic, and I spent years trying to extract it out of them. Sperm. She asked her how. Luella tells us, God damn it. Don't make a joke. Okay.
The
She asked her
magical
how.
sperm.
Luella tells us God, fuck you. Okay. She asked her how.
He's spit in her mouth.
Mm-hmm. Yep. She asked her how. Luella tells us a monster's very being has magic. They're extraordinary, stronger, faster, better in all the ways. I think they leave traces of magic in this realm, so we strove to harness those traces to make everybody's bodies less susceptible to illness, to give us all the strength to heal. Odessa's like, excuse me, is we, you, and the Voster? She tells her no, her alchemist. Odessa says, but the Voster are the only creatures who have magic. Lou is like, are they? Some might look at them as monsters in their own right. Odessa's like, a fucking men, sister. Luella goes on, the Voster simply know how to use their powers. Monsters do not. But that doesn't mean it doesn't flow through their veins, through their skin and bone and blood and saliva. I think it's possibly sperm too. We don't know that for sure, guys, but we'll get back.
Other skin secretions. Oh my god, as it was leaving my mouth, I'm like, why would I say that?
So I think the line, I'm just ignoring you. I think the line that monsters do not, meaning they do not know how to use their powers, will absolutely be key to the rest of the series. I think there's a lot more magic in this realm that we do not know of yet, including our favorite redhead.
Yeah, I agree. Especially because, like, you know, the monster's very being has magic.
Right.
Who's to say, what if the trees have magic?
I think you're confusing that with something called Lord of the Rings. Ransom's like, cool, tell us how you made it. Luella was like, I loved alchemy since I was a young maiden. Who says that? I was ill and lame, and my father left me there to heal for a month. She got super into it and tinkered for years. Then, like all stories, she met a stupid man and her dreams were put on hold. But once Ransom got older, she had more time, so she hung out with the healers in Alisaria. So she hung out in the library and read books to escape her life. One day, she stumbled upon a book that changed everything. It was full of stories that sparked an idea. Not sure where the book came from, but she found it hidden away and she took it. Luella pulls out her satchel, which is super cool. Indiana Jones has one. Such a fucking idiot. Why did
I love writing 2 weeks ago and then coming back to
I'm like, oh, okay, this was a different person that wrote this. Big Cat explains that it was written in the old language. There's stories almost like a person's dream, like in Sonnets 90. Luella goes on, there's one story that tells the tale of a monster's claw given to a man as a gift for saving a beast's life. When the claw was worn around his neck, the man never again felt pain or sickness. The day he took it off and gave it to his son was the day he died.
The description of the claw around the man's neck in the story sounds slightly similar to Odessa's necklace, maybe, but we will come back to this thought when she discovers the symbol on the back of one of Llewellyn's books.
What if the day her mom took off the necklace, she died? Maybe there's a type of power in that necklace. Maybe she'll be able to control the monsters, the magic contained in there. Remember how it warms against her skin, almost like the magic's humming to her? Like calls to life.
Or that prevented her from shifting into a crux. And the second that she took it off, that's when she, swung.
Like, yeah, it contained her, like,
Yeah.
after shape shifted in that.
It kept her tamed. Like the
Mm,
opposite of Miley Cyrus can't be tamed, like she
okay.
was.
Mm-hmm.
That the necklace is the monster tamer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the book is written in the old language. Why do they have an old language versus a new language? At what point did it change?
Maybe the gods wanted it to be forgotten because they didn't want people to be able to decipher the text like Sonic 90. It's almost like God in the Bible where he changed everything in Babel, like all the languages, so that people would be confused on purpose. Always comes back to the fucking Bible.
It really does. Well, I mean,
Mm,
it's very quotable, I guess.
The Bible, I guess. The Bible and fucking Greek mythology, man. They always come back in these fantasy stories.
It's the easiest to like pull from.
Yeah, it makes sense. This story made me wonder, what if we could be stronger? What if we could fight infections? Ransom makes a dig at her success. Lou explains we did not create Lissa, not how you think. We made an elixir that would enhance a human's natural abilities. We created potions and tonics from ingredients linked to monsters. They, te- they tested it on themselves for years and then one day gave it to a healer and it fixed a guy, and he still lives to this day. But one day, Ransom got a gash on his leg that was really bad. He lost consciousness, so she gave it to him, but it didn't work. Ransom is big pissed now. You let me believe I got Lissa from a beowulf fight. And she's like, you did. Well, I think. She can't quite explain it, but she feels like the bite transformed him. The elixir she gave him was the fundamental magic for Lissa, and the saliva was the missing piece. When it bit him, a bond formed man, monster, and magic. That day, you both created Lissa and has continued to spread as the beowulf has bit others.
So Lissa was born from two beings. Maybe it's the Amma and Oda treatment where it needs two beings to cure it, like a mirror, like twin beings. Odessa being the human and the guardian being the monster. I'm not married to this, just throwing it out there because anything's possible at this point.
Ransom comes to the conclusion the beowulf was never the beginning. It was him. He started Lissa.
Poor baby. He's going through all the emotions, all the feels right now.
All of them.
Chapter 57. So Ransom is having a mentee be, rightfully so. He asks how his father was involved, and apparently there was a little bitch alchemist who betrayed Luella and went to the king the day he tried to kill Luella. It turns out Mikhail warming her bed was just icing on the cake that day. Ramsay can't quite figure out how to recreate the Guardian, so that's how these soldiers are dying, but it's only a matter of time until he figures out he needs the magic from the bite of a magical animal, such as the werewolf that bit Ransom. Luella keeps thinking she can fix this though because she doesn't want anyone else's son to die. That's really nice of her. We also learn that Ramsay is burning the books to make sure no notes about Lissa are anywhere. No knowledge that other kings may learn about to create their bootleg guardians. Ransom says that they should burn the book that Big Calf pulled out earlier. Earlier wasn't really hard to say.
I really
Luella's
had no
like,
idea what you were going for here. I was like trying to decipher it. I had no idea.
I got it. Luella's like, absolutely not. That is part of my research. Ransom storms off. Odessa gets ready to go after him, but hesitates when she sees the book flipped over on the table with etching on the cover. A winged emblem, the same emblem of the pendant around her neck. Okay, so was Odessa's mom part of the alchemist research or somewhat of an alchemist herself? Maybe she was helping with a crux aspect of Lissa in one of the versions. Luella and Big Cat could easily be blood sworn to secrecy in knowing her. Because don't forget, in chapter 34, I mentioned this. Big Kath popping up at the right times. Llewellyn says, "Don't play coy with me, Kathleen. I've known you my entire life. You're up to something." And Catherine responds, "Their books, Lou. I'm giving that poor girl something to read. That's all." And then she says, "She's too much like her mother." Catherine said, "My first read," and then, we thought it was Baby E the first time, but we think it's Odessa's mother. So I think they really did know her, and she's somehow involved with this.
Mm-hmm. I think especially with that comment that Ramsey even made about, of course, you like the redheads or something like you would have on. I think there's something going on.
Ramsey might know her too.
That's what I'm wondering.
Maybe they were all friends at one point, and then the
Like,
Gold King was like, "I'm a dick. No, thank you."
dick.
So this book with the story is almost like a person's dream, like Sonnets 90. There is one story that tells the tale of a monster's claw given to a man as a gift for saving the beast's life. When the claw was worn around the neck, the man was never felt pain or sickness. The day he took it off and gave it to his son was the day he died. In chapter 57, Luella mentions that monsters' very being has magic and that they leave traces of magic in this realm, which is what they harnessed. Do we think that potentially I really like the word potentially in my sentence apparently. But do we think they potentially harnessed Odessa's mom's crux magic into the necklace somehow? And that's how it's like protecting her?
Possibly, yeah, I think that's very, very possible. I think that's a great theory.
I mean, this would go along with like them being alchemists,
Yeah.
but we were talking about like maybe that necklace, kept her from shifting. But like I feel like there is crux magic in it.
Right. And the fact that it hums to Odessa makes me feel like she's got some crux in her or some godlike ish in her.
Her mom had to put like some of her blood into it or something to like activate it.
Yeah, something's going on there. I
She
agree.
spit on it for sure.
Chapter 58. Odessa is asking around, trying to find out where her boo thing is. No dice, though. She's been doing a hot girl walk around Elder, peeking around. Not successful, so she walked back towards her suite. When she got there, Ransom was waiting on the steps. After a little chit chat, he asked her to do another hot girl walk. He tells her he wishes that they didn't have to pretend that they weren't lovers. Ransom feels like a dum dum for not figuring it out. He says that it's too late to stop what his madre has done, but now he must stop his padre. He tells her he has to leave her and he will not take her to Alisaria. She's like, "You don't trust me, boo boo?" He tells her, "If the men in my daddy's army are like the ones who tried to kill you earlier, Alisaria isn't the place in Clandra you should go. There's only one way to stop this. 86, all the monsters from life." She tells him, "My father sent me here to find the passage into Alisaria. I was to spy and send word back to Quintus with Brielle or that bitch Jocelyn ASAP. He didn't tell me what he was searching for, but he could save us from the crux. I think he knows about your little condition. He said to find out about your powers and kill ya." Ransom is like cross, and she keeps on. "Guessing you knew all that. I just wanted to say out loud." He tells her she's a terrible spy. Ransom is like, "This is a real fuck sitch. If the crux get the infection, we're double fucked. It started with him, and it would end with him too." He tells her that he's going to try and convince Papa to stop giving Lissa to innocent men. He tells her Alisaria is change. Fucking blood oaths, man. He can go, but Xavier and the Rangers need to stay in the wild and make sure the infection doesn't spread. Oh, back to the blood oath. He can't ask anyone to fight his peepaw. I hate myself. She's like, "What's your plan? To go kill 1,000+ soldiers?" Ransom gets real emo. "What's the difference between the infection or my father's sword?" She's like, "Stop it, you fuck. Don't quit on me. Don't leave me." He tells her he doesn't have an army for this fight, but her Faja does. What do you think Ransom means that Alisaria has changed?
I think it has a lot to do with his king. Well, his dad, his papa. His papa.
Peepaw?
I feel like I mentioned before, I didn't feel like I mentioned this before. I did mention this before, that I feel like Ramsey is so dedicated, like that kind of like set him off. Like he wants to protect his people, which made him kind of crazy. And so I feel like it's mostly, well, it is Ramsey that's changed things because he's so dedicated to protecting people from the crux that he's lost the vision. He made things a little negative. He went too hard in the yard.
That happens.
But the fact that he's turning to King Cross, it's like desperate times call for desperate measures.
But like, bad idea, Des. Your dad fucking sucks, baby girl. Like, he's the worst. Is it weird that I trust Ramsay more than I trust King Cross?
No, because same. I feel like Ramsay is doing it for his people. Like he really wants. I could be totally wrong, and I will eat crow if I am. But like I feel like Ramsay is doing it for his people. Like I said, the vision is blurry a little bit because he lost sight, but he is trying to help. It's just not going great. But I think King Cross. I think he's not a good guy. I think he's doing it for self gain, not for
Yes, he wants more power, and I think there's something with Ramsay that we do not know. Like, maybe the high priest is controlling him in some way. Like,
That's a
something's
really good point.
like, everyone's making this big deal about like how he's off his rocker now, and they seem like they were all friends at one point. Big Cat, obviously Lou, they said they were best friends, and then like something started changing, and I don't think it was just because like his wife was fucking somebody else. I think there's something there with the V-Bros, specifically the high priest. Something's just not right.
Interesting thought of that he could be control. I didn't even think about that. Him controlling Ramsey.
Well, remember how they make the comment about how the Voster would never allow like a mortal king to control him? Well, I think that's because they're controlling the mortal king.
And King Cross is definitely like a bad guy. No shit. I just I think you're onto something with like he's being controlled and King Cross isn't good because remember like like they were poor until him. Like Grandpa like spent his money on whores and other things, not his
Right.
people.
And-
So something needs to be said. Like something went wrong with King Cross.
yeah. So it's something we'll explore more.
Good point, though. I didn't think that he could be like. I didn't think about technically that's controlled by the Foster.
Yeah.
Why have we not even thought about that at all before until this fucking last episode?
I don't know. I just feel like I would just keep on thinking more and more about what they're saying about Ramsey and how like that was his hero. His dad was his hero. And like the fact that Lou was like, no, he was my best friend. And Kath making the comment like he's off his rocker now. Like I said, like there was a good guy there and he's making interesting decisions, but I don't think he's in full control.
Yes.
And I think in book 2 we're gonna be like, oh, okay.
Something happened with Odessa's mom that made King Cross shift and like Ramsey and the V Bros, everything shifted.
Yeah.
So what was that event?
Well, and they said that they've been trying to figure like a way into Alisaria for 30 years. Remember, King Cross said that. So that was the last migration. Odessa's what, 23-ish? Is that what
Yeah,
she is? 23.
somewhere
Yeah. So I'm just timing wise, I'm curious.
suspicious. Chapter 59. 3 more days of canoodling while they could until they couldn't. And she woke up with Ransom not in bed. She started debating a plan for approaching her dad and all the things she would want from him in exchange for Alisaria's location. Jesus. Odessa was ready to go on a sad hot girl walk when she saw a baby E at her door. They were going to be sad together. Luella was gone again, and Xavier was leaving, so baby E definitely had a right to be sad. They start playing hide and seek, although Odessa's a big cheater using Faze to find baby E in Luella's room.
Smart.
Odessa was thinking about Fays like we didn't understand them, did we? They were more than animals, more than beasts. They truly had magic. Fays was only a baby, but I was constantly surprised by how much he understood. Not just commands, but moods. There were times he'd look at me and it was like he knew exactly what I was feeling. Joy, anger, heartache, like he wanted to say something, but whatever it was, we didn't speak the same language. This feels like an opening where Odessa will learn to communicate with him. There's the little mentions here and there that she doesn't want to give him up or how is she supposed to. We all know that this Tarkin is sticking around.
Totally agree with you. Odessa is like a parcel mouth, but for monsters. I mean, she possibly has a little monster inside of her. Wink, wink. A real legend tamer, if you will. But I agree. I think that Tarkin's not going anywhere. And I think the Tarkin will set off a lot of clues for her to figure things out.
I agree, especially like the whole like, you know, mo fear the monsters we make,
Yeah.
and she's not making this well, she is making him to a cute monster, happy monster. I feel like it's gonna be something with Baby E and her communication with them, like, because she's also got a bond with
Yep.
Fays. So it's either gonna be Odessa or Baby E that, like, is able to talk to monsters or at least Fays. I feel strongly about it.
I could see that.
That's something I'm married to.
I support that. I think it's pretty
Pretty, like, it's gonna
mhm,
happen.
pretty campy.
Imagine we're, like, wrong about everything.
I don't feel like we are.
We never
I
do.
I never feel that.
After Odessa finds Baby E, she's like, let me show you something cool. Then shows her a migration cellar located in Luella's room, which was where Catelyn hid the books, scrolls, and trinkets from the dungeons. She then shows Odessa a hidden drawer. Baby is the world. I just wrote baby. Baby
Amy?
E is the world's best spy. Shout out to kids being nosy. Odessa vows to come back later and starts playing hide and seek again. They were together until Xavier came and got his daughter. So once again, going back to my theory that Daria is like on Odessa's side and nudging her along. Evangeline finds the books in the dungeon, finds the migration cellar and the secret door with the book Ransom was ready to burn with the wing emblem. How is one that lucky?
On the same page with you 100%. You convinced me of this one. I'm with you. Odessa makes multiple mentions of Daria. Chapter 9, maybe if Daria, the goddess of luck, was on my side. She rarely was. Chapter 11, it was only by Daria's luck that I managed to plant both boots on the railing and stop myself from flying overboard. Chapter 12, I don't think I'm that lucky. Daria has never been a goddess on my side. Chapter 21, Daria, the goddess of luck, is on my side for the time being. I wasn't going to question her reasons. I would need her luck to find the road to Alisaria. Odessa makes multiple comments that Daria isn't often on her side, but maybe those hunches are just magic and from her, like putting her on the right path.
Right. But it wasn't until she specifically prayed to her, to Daria, that she started actually getting lucky. But I do get into that more in the next chapter. And I do want to say, I need to make a correct, well, not a correction, but I made an earlier comment about like what lit the homes in Trio. And I think torches and lamps are official based on the mention of them here in Elder. It's a very important thing that I needed to share.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome. They use lamps. After Odessa was alone, she went on another walk to I just stuttered so hard. Okay, after Odessa was alone, she went on another walk to the wall to stargaze. The sky was a beautiful swirl of gray and blue and twinkling white. It was different than her cliffside in Quentis, but it was a sanctuary of its own. That's when Daddy Ransom puts his arms around her. Very romantic. They start having a very cute moment about being together, and then Ransom has a big ask of can't she take care of baby E since he's going to take his mom to Alisaria so she can fix things. Odessa agrees, of course. Odessa's looking into his eyes, and they are orange and red and yellow, but wait, that's fire. That's a reflection of a whole ass army showing up. Ransom immediately is like, don't open those gates. I was just picturing the King's militia showing up with like the coconuts
Mm-hmm.
galloping. Monty Python, for those who don't know. I think anybody listening to this is in that age group, though.
I'm not a Monty Python gal, but I did know the reference. Chapter 60. Ah, shit. Soldiers are there. Luckily, the soldiers manning the gates obeyed Ransom's command and didn't let the other soldiers through the gates, which was probs a little confusing considering that those soldiers were wearing the Turin crest, plus it was their king. Ransom took Odessa aside and was like, crap, I should have left earlier. He gave me a month to go to Alisaria. My Faja does not make idle threats. Ransom is sensing something is wrong, and since he's done a blood oath, he can't order soldiers to do anything against their king. Xavier Boy shows up and asks what's wrong, and he just tells him his dad is here with his legion. He asks Ransom if he's there for his mother, which is a definite possibility. Ransom tells her to stay behind him.
Okay, so what if she just needs to call on the gods for aid? She says, Mac be with us. I whispered, signing the 8. If this came to a fight, the god of war would stand with the side tonight. I prayed it was ours. In all chapters prior to 26, she thanks Daria or mentions she's not on her side. But in 26, she actually prays to Daria. And so things start going more her way, like I mentioned before.
They let Ramsay through, and Brother Dime also made an appearance. Oh, and guess who was behind? Oh, and guess who was behind him? Banner. What in the fuck? Ramsay got off his horse, and every single person dropped to a bow, except Ransom and Odessa. Ramsay's soldiers that came from the side gates surrounded them all. Banner was there looking big mad. Ramsay dropped a bomb. A Crux scout was spotted along the western front 2 days ago, which was a bit shocking considering considering the Crux always came in the spring. Always. Weird. Ramsay went on. Any troops not necessary to run this fortress are needed in Alisaria. Those people not wanting to stay in Elder are welcome in the city. We leave tonight. Why is the Crux here early? They always come in the spring. Why come at least 6 months early?
They never accounted for a leap year. So like
Yep, that's the big twist.
this, everything is going wrong because it's a leap year and they forgot to take account
And that took
for
6 months. Well,
after 100 years, it adds up. And since they haven't had a single leap year, we figured it out. Go us. I
don't
have my
add me on
detective
this.
hat on this morning. You're like, I'm not co-signing a leap year.
Co-signing your leap year theory. Just kidding. Ransom asked the king what Banner was doing there. The Gold King and General Banner apparently made a bargain. He's taking his fiancée back to Quentis. Ransom is like, no. Odessa's like, I'm not leaving. Banner chuckles, I'm not here for you. She looked back and saw Jocelyn coming from the side gate and asked if he met her. But nope, Brielle, which was a real shock. The other soldiers were dragging Luella from the house. Kathleen yelled, stop. Luella told Ransom it was always going to end this way and it was time for her to face him. Ramsay and Luella have an exchange that confirms that bitch Jocelyn was the one that sold her out. Ramsay's like, who is this girl? Kathleen yells at Ramsay and that he's out of his mind. Ramsay yanked Luella's hair. Ransom yells, enough. Odessa grabbed the sword and put it against Ramsay's neck and told him to let Luella go. I wrote girl. Just FYI. Our girl has balls. Odessa threatened the king. He told Ransom that his wife is a nuisance. He grabbed Des. He asked her, who do you think you are, Sparrow? She responds, the future queen of Turah. Let me go. Odessa kneed him in the balls. He fisted her hair, and Ransom growled, I will kill you. I swear it.
That bitch Jocelyn was a double bitch.
Mm.
She slept with her man and was a spy selling information. The fact that Brielle was Flagboy's fiance, this is literally a Jerry Springer episode. I would know. My family almost went on it. The fact that, not me personally, but cousins, the fact that she sold out Baby E, thank God she didn't know Baby E's actual identity, that she's a princess.
Yeah, that bitch Jocelyn fucking sucks.
Extra sucks. That's why I've said that bitch Jocelyn every single time I've mentioned her name, because she is that bitch. Not in a good way either. That bitch.
No, not like she's that bitch. She's like, fuck you,
Ugh,
that bitch. It does make me think of Margot. Margot was a little spy, and I bet you that she sold out her mother. Or that's an option. She either sold out her mother or she's helping protect her mothers. It goes either way for me.
Yeah, we're not sure if Margot gets a redemption arc yet.
Yeah, but Margot was a spy.
Who do you think has more of a redemption arc likely, Margot or May?
Margot.
Me too.
Mm-hmm.
May is going to be too much like her dad.
Mm-hmm. May doesn't give a care.
Not one.
Mm-mm. Margot, I think, probably cared about her mom, and I think she cares about Odessa in her own way. Yeah, I think Margot.
My mind is just like they were lovers. Why choose?
This is always what happens.
It always comes back to why choose?
Mm-hmm. I'm like, mm-hmm. Ramsay tells him, I see the way you look at her. Ransom tells him, she's my life. Ramsay says she will be your death, like your mother will be mine. Ransom's like, Father, please. Banner's like, hold up. He's your son? Ramsay doesn't answer and says, you wanted her, you deal with her, and shoves Odessa to Brother Dime. Brother Dime's hand touched her and fire exploded through her skin. She screams. Brother Dime backed away and endless eyes turned to the night sky. Did you change this? Look at me in the face. Did you change this, Kylie? Kylie.
No.
So, audience, I wrote the crux was here. And
You
I
did
don't
not.
weird. Somebody wrote the clam was here.
I don't know.
You're a menace. You're a fucking menace.
I don't know what you're talking about. I
Mhm.
didn't do anything.
Oh,
Stop trying to derail us.
Jesus Christ.
Not right now. We aren't talking about him. Bible references later. So this line, the prickle of my skin was instant as Brother Dime came through the gates. Why was he with King Ramsay? Wasn't he father's emissary? And this line, when Ramsay let Odessa go, it was with a shove to Brother Dime. You wanted her, you deal with her. Okay, hear me out. Gotta get these tears away from the clam situation.
That you created. But go
I
ahead.
didn't know. You're full of shit. I think Brother Dime here as a solid. Even though her skin burned when she was thrown at him, that was not intentional on his part. I will have to get more into this in the next episode for theories when she encounters him again. But the fact that he's there without the boss is super sus. I think boss is bad and Brother Dime is a good guy. And I will expand on that literally next chapter.
And we have to give credit where credit is due. Kylie has been saying this about Brother Dime lightly for like 4 episodes. You have not been convinced that Brother Dime's bad the whole time.
No, boss for sure. Like he is a manipulator. But something with Brother Dime has like piqued my interest because he did the water crown. It's like he knows that she is rightfully the queen and that she needs to take her position.
I'm with you on this, and I can't wait to hear you expand on it.
She's the queen of Waterworld.
Well, especially in this next couple of hi, just ignoring you. These next couple of chapters, like it really solidified your theory for me about
Literally, next chapter solidifies it.
I'm like, yeah, say less. On board.
Chapter 61. Get Samuel L. Jackson to Elder because the Crux have arrived and there are motherfucking Crux in the motherfucking town. She was a huge bitch. This Lady Crux is described as eyes and feathers blacker than ink, her talons clawed into the earth, gouging and scoring the dirt. The slashes were so deep they could be used for graves. That's big. Her beak curved to a point as sharp as any sword. The males were always drawn in torrents, but this female had spikes of her own on the front of her wings. With every swipe through the people in the courtyard, she ripped through flesh and bone. Karma did her thing because that bitch Jocelyn tried to slink away, but she got gouged too. Love that for her. It's chaotic everywhere. Ransom makes sure he helps Odessa get to safety, but once he does that, he goes for his mom and Odessa goes for baby E. Okay, so even though Odessa has seen the pictures, read about, and talked about the Crux, sometimes, though, you cannot be prepared for when you see something in person for the first time. Try not to laugh and say it's a thing. But when she stood upright, her head was 3 times the height of a man. The head alone was 3 times the height of a man. Can you fathom that? Like, that's huge. That's a huge bitch.
Luckily for me, I don't picture things real. Otherwise, I'd be terrified.
Amidst the chaos and the journey of making her way to baby E, Odessa sees Tilia and Hallstrom. Hallstrom gets half of his leg taken off. Ugh. Just makes me think of Sawyer. The right limb on Sawyer.
Not fun.
Ransom made it Ransom made it to Luella, but she pushed him away so she could help a soldier, and he went off to battle the Crux. Ransom cut into the Crux over and over on her wings, on her belly, on her neck, and nothing is taking that hoe down. While helping the soldier, and with that single beat of her wings, the Crux leaped from one side of the courtyard to the other. With a snap of her beak, she cleaved Luella's body in two. My dumbass highlighted this on the first read, and the monster's talon took off his leg, tearing through the flesh and bone. He fell to his side, eyes wide, blood splurting from the wound as his limb landed on the dirt. And my note, Lifetime, not Hallmark. This is what I thought about while fucking reading this book. Like, this is a Lifetime movie, not Hallmark.
No, that's accurate though. It's not a Hallmark. It could
Hallmark
be.
are happy ending movies, and Lifetime like has the serious shit. Like when I watched The Underwater Garden of Women,
Naturally.
that was my introduction to Lifetime movies. Everybody's seen that, yeah? Okay, so also the Crux going for Luella seems vindictive on the Crux part, right? Like that was no random choice of attack. That was personal.
This is exactly what I thought too. I'm like, why are you ignoring Ransom, who's literally trying to kill you, but you went straight for Luella? It felt like vengeance of some sort, which made me think, remember how the necklace had the wings on it, and so did Luella's journal? What if, like you've said, Luella did know her mother and she was punishing her for something? You know how I think her mother was Sora? What if the Crux is almost like a curse that happened to her? Maybe that's what it really is, and all of these answers are in Alisaria.
100% they are there. But yeah, what if it was like she specifically took Luella down because she knows her, or Luella was like on the right path and, her mind is all fucked up because she's a Crux. And so she's like, I'm going to take this bitch out.
Or maybe Luella needed to die for fate reasons. Like maybe that
Maybe
was like
that's
a
not
course
even
of action.
Yeah, it like was written in the stars, like this had to
Yeah.
happen.
Because I do, and I talk about it, it feels weird to me that the Crux, it doesn't really go for Ransom that much, even when he's trying to kill, like just in the talons. Like it's weird.
It's specific, like just the way the Crux specifically goes to people, and I'm pretty sure I talk about it again, but it seems very intentional.
Mm-hmm.
She moves with intention.
Mm-hmm. She really is a wellness girly that moves with intention.
There's a part that says the Crux turned to Ramsay, but then a roar stole her attention. Her head whirled at the sound as Ransom leaped onto the monster's back, his sword raised to drag through the Crux's skull, except before he could drop the blade, she took to the air, tossing him to the ground. What was the source of the roaring? It doesn't say who or what actually roared, but I think it was Faze, providing a distraction. Monsters are made, and Faze is far from that. He's a homie.
I like that.
So Odessa makes it to the house to get baby E. She finds her under the bed with angel baby Faze. She had her boots on, and Odessa grabs those 3 books hidden that our favorite spy found. She tells Evie that they have to be brave. They head out the back door, and guess who's there? Fucking Flag Boy. He's there for blood. Odessa tells him to worry about Brielle, but he is blinded by bloodlust. He's there for payback for his brother. So Evie says he's scared, tears glisten in her eyes. I have the feeling that Evie can communicate with Faze, like I said. Like, how else could she read him? So Evangeline means gospel or good news. She could be spreading the gospel of Faze, a little deity of her own. She does spread good news to Odessa, the dungeons, the hidden books, not that crazy of a stretch. The girl is special. Like, there is something up with her.
Well, they're both princesses. The royal families have been in charge of these kingdoms for a very long time. Maybe they are all descendants of some type of god or magical being. Like if the royal family.
Yeah, like you had just mentioned, the monsters don't necessarily know how to use their magic. What if like all the kings and princesses and whatnot don't know how to tap in?
Right. But they have it there. I just also, when you were reading about Evangeline's name, I can't help but think about the nickname being Little Star. And then what was in Princess and the Frog? Evangeline, the fucking star.
That's why I can never say her name, because I want to start like singing songs from that fucking movie.
It's an excellent movie. Chapter 62. So, Banner Boy may not have the skin of a killer, but he certainly has the attitude of one. He's like, you know how to use those weapons? She's like, come and find out, which is giving, if you want him, come and claim him in Lord of the Rings. I just need to make one Lord of the Rings reference in this episode. Always. Banner tells her to put her weapons down, and he promises to make this painless, which earns him a fuck you. He keeps on with his douchebag persona. Do you really think fighting will change the outcome? Which, shut the fuck up, flag boy. And I think I prefer Jack Barlow. Just want to throw that out there.
Okay, Jack Barlow is an unrivaled villain. Like, he is incredible as a villain. But maybe we're biased because we really love the appearance.
I really love hating JB. Always.
He's fun to hate. Like, he's a really great villain. Like, every villain is so great to hate, but you know what? That's another book. We'll get back to that. So Odessa tells Flagboy, "You are not killing me today." And I really think she willed it with an assist from the gods. She prayed to Mac in chapter 62. And what happened in this battle against Banner? She wins. Chapter 56, Odessa thought, what if magic went beyond the soil? This is her magic and her bond with the gods.
On board. Banner has murder in his eyes. Des admits to herself that he is good at this whole fighting thing, but not as good as Ransom. She holds her own, which really pisses off Flagboy. Odessa tries to reason with the dumbass, but stupid is as stupid does. She attacked and cut his thigh, which, as you can imagine, really chapped his hide. They kept fighting, and she cut the fucker again. He grabbed one of his knives and was ready to huck it at her, but Banner saw Xavier and hit him right in the gut instead. At the same time, Des drove her knife through Banner. I admitted this to Kylie earlier. I totally forgot that Banner died. So, yep. I was like, oh, good for you, Odessa. Reading it, I totally forgot. E-Baby was losing it, crying for her papa. Xavier Boy started coughing up blood, and Odessa ran to him. He looked at Evie and told her he loved her. Des yelled, help. Xavier told her to run and take Evie. She did a little whistle, calling for help. Not for Jiminy Cricket.
You knew where my mind was.
But trio feats. She tried to get E-Baby to go, but she was yelling, Papa. She pulled her away and she kept crying. She looked around. The town was in ruins. She wondered where Ransom was. She watched a beheading, and then his wife tried to put his head back on, which I truly can't even, LOL. It's giving the bird in the beginning of Dumb and Dumber. Sorry. Brielle was walking down the street with two knives. Des yelled at her to run, but instead she stopped and looked at the stars, and the crux swooped up and caught a bitch. You know?
Like she could sense their desperation to survive, the crux swept down from the night and with a slice of her talon separated the man's head from his shoulder. Tell me the crux aren't vindictive and very aware of their murderous ways. This one specifically, I keep saying there, but like her. And it's awful nice of Odessa to hope for Brielle. I hoped it was Arabella's heaven. Brielle was the only one who tried with her, even though she was engaged to Odessa's OG betrothed and never shared that fun fact.
I don't actually really blame Brielle that much for that, to be honest.
Really awkward. Like, how do you say, I was fucking your ex-fiance the entire time. I was his lady in the city.
For like years and years, even before you two were a thing. I mean, it's
And
not
then
necessary.
after you guys were done, like, we still canoodled.
Yeah, but who knows?
Yeah, I do. I like Brielle over Jocelyn.
I mean, yeah, that's a lot easier to like. I just felt like Brielle was actually a nice person, but just was in a shitty situation.
I think that in a different situation of life, they could have been friends.
Agreed. Des told Evie it was time to run to the dungeons. Right before they started, the crux landed in the street, and Faze let out a squeak. Luckily, the crux left, so they started running. She heard Ransom yell, down. She felt like she was about to get swept by a crux, but the Ransom barreled through her side. He said, Odessa. She told him she was okay, but Xavier was not, which broke his little heart. The crux shrieked from the skies, and Ransom says, it's not safe for you here. She says, what about you? And tells her to go. He takes off his arm cuff, not from Buckle, and asks if she knew what this is, and she knew it was the road to Alisaria. He told her that her and Evie can't be around his father. She said she will go to Trio, and he tells her to follow Arinda and will lead you to Trio. He then says, if I don't make it there the day after tomorrow, you must go. Take Evie from Turah and do what needs to be done. She asks him, are you sure? And he tells her he trusts her. They do a quick but hard, that's what she said, kiss. Des says, I love you. He says, yes, you do. Don't forget. Never. Neither will I. I will find you here or in the shades.
Fucking finally. But God, I wanted to sob because of the circumstances. They finally admitted they love each other, and then he finally trusts her. I'm too emotionally invested.
I know. I really like them together.
I've been reading too many romances, so I'm just like, oh, and they said it.
I want to just mention about the shades comment. Like, neither will I. I'll find you here or in the shades. This is very. I'm grasping for straws here.
It's
But
giving the mountain.
a little. I think that maybe, like, with the way that he's talked about the gods, anyways, and sitting up on their thrones and watching them, maybe on that mountain, that's where they can see. What if he has access to all the shades in Alisaria? So it's like he will find her in actual shades, not death, isn't necessarily what he's meaning.
Oh, 100%. I think they'll spend time. Well, when he was on the Crux back, it says he was like up in the shades. So
Yeah.
I think he's got access.
Same seas. Okay. And then just a little tidbit, a little bit for your tid. The firelight caught the monster's wing, making the black feathers glow red and orange. It really was our little Easter egg of what color hair this lady
Yeah,
had.
because I wonder if different Crux, if their like reflection is different, or like the way that light hits their feathers. Because the
It's
men is the Auburn
Auburn.
Crux.
Yeah. Something to think about. He gave them time to run away. She looked back and saw Ransom in her talons. Once they got to the dungeons, she realized they were not alone because by the spider prickling sensation on her skin. Brother Dime told her not to run. She asked him what he wanted, and he said, "You must come with me now, child." She asked him if it had to do with her muddy. Hold on. She asked him if it had to do. She asked him if it had to do with her mother. Fuck. She asked him if it had to do with her mother, but he stayed silent. She put Evie and Faze on her horse, but he was careful not to touch her, which is the only reason she decided to trust him. They started walking, and he used his wind powers to extinguish the lantern flame, and he led them into the night. Muddy?
Okay. So, Brother Dime says, do not run, and you must come with me now, child, she said. He held Freya's reins, my darling horse, alert but not scared. Animals can tell you a lot about a person. The face that she was alert but not scared, or the fact that she was alert but not scared, says a lot. If he was a bad guy, like the boss, he probably would have touched or done something to incapacitate her. Instead, Brother Dime was careful not to touch me as he handed me the reins. Odessa, not me personally, and is intentionally not hurting her. He turned off the lights so no one would catch them. He didn't tell the boss about whatever he sensed when touching her. Brother Dime came alone. I think he is going to hide her from the boss. He's friend, not foe.
I think you're right, Kai. I think Brother Dime is a bro.
Look at us, little rap artists. I said friend, not foe, and you said Brother Dime's a bro.
No, I agree. And just even his wording, "You must come with me now, child." It feels like there's a sense of care there. And the fact that he went and got her horse for this. He could have grabbed any random horse, he got her horse.
He didn't even need to get her a horse. He didn't
No.
need to assist in any way. And he avoided touching her because he knew that it doesn't feel good to her based on like their interaction before and when they were in the throne room. Shout out to Brother Dime.
Way to go, bro.
He gets a bookmark, just like Snape did from Borders. Nobody, you didn't have the friend or foe.
No, I know that you did though.
Chapter 63. I don't know why I just struggled to say 63, but that's where we're at. And guess what? it's a Ransom's point of view because I love a good POV that is
You
not the main character.
do.
So the scene is not a good one. A lot of people were massacred by the Crux. Why I'm like really excited to read this
I
chapter.
know. I'm so jacked about all this devastation happening. Go ahead.
Fires had started and now gone out. At one point, Ransom got knocked out, and Ramsay and his goons left. Luella didn't make it. Halston survived, but without a leg. Xavier is barely surviving, and Ransom is ready for him to be free of his responsibilities, if he makes it. So, once again, Kathleen stood at the end of the last row, staring at the body stretched on the ground, awaiting the grave. So, just once again, Kathleen is there, and she's fine, uninjured, but here's everybody else with injuries. Interesting. But how lucky that Catherine survived. Tell me that girl is not born of pure luck. She's touched by a god, the child of one. Somehow she needs to be connected with Daria, cousin, twice removed, something.
Right. And just a reminder, Kathleen does mean pure. So she's got touch, that one.
Okay, so this next part I want to read word for word. It's a really short chapter. In the center of the courtyard, a woman's naked body rested in a pool of blood. I crouched beside the figure, surveying it from head to toe for the 10th time. Was this real, or were my eyes playing a trick on me? Had the crash addled my mind and memory? After Odessa had fled the dungeon with Edie, the Crux had plucked me off the ground and carried me into the sky, probably to drop me from some unfathomable height, but the bitch hadn't counted on my rage. I'd driven my sword into her chest, straight into her heart, and then we'd fallen from the shades. The monster had taken the brunt of the impact, but I'd been thrown hard enough that when I woke, the faint rays of morning were kissing the horizon. There should have been a monster's lifeless body in the courtyard. There should have been a winged beast with my sword in its chest. Instead, I pulled my sword from this woman's body. A woman with red hair, the spiraling curls a mix of orange and strawberry and copper. Odessa's hair. Ransom asked Kathleen if she has ever seen this before. She said no, and that any Crux killed was a regular old monster. They then burn the body, and Ransom heads out the gates to find his wife. Okay, let's break this down. After the sword went through the heart and then they landed, obviously Ransom bounced and passed out. But did the Crux die as a woman or a Crux? As in, did it turn into the woman before or after it died? Why did they never turn into people before? Is it something about the Guardian that frees the Crux from their form? Is it something about the timeline?
It's a good point. It essentially it takes me back to Odessa explaining that some people believe that souls are reincarnated.
Maybe that's where the souls get trapped into the shade or in the shades and then they become the Crux. Who knows? But why does it have Odessa's hair? Once again, did he kill Odessa's mom? Was she an aunt? Cousin twice removed?
I just feel like this Crux was someone from Odessa's family line who was possibly cursed. I think it's like this line, her family on the mom's side, is very much related to the god's Crux, and that's why they're hiding the hair color. It's why Ramsay made the fucking comment about the red hair. Like, I'm sure as a king, Ramsay knows, just like how our government knows shit that we don't know about. He probably knows a lot more about the inner workings of things. And the red hair comment was weird. So I just feel like it's connected to Odessa because it never really went after her, like to kill her.
Feels like maybe like a grandma or something. Maybe not Odessa's mom, but like, so, yeah, for sure in the bloodline. I keep saying that the Crux specifically seemed vindictive. Was it sent there to take out the Guardian or Odessa? But it didn't touch either of them. I feel like it was buying more for Ransom because he was fighting her. But it could have been just trying to hurt Odessa's feelings by taking him out, like just affecting her. But he still didn't take the Crux did not take Ransom out, which is just very odd.
It could have, though. It
Yeah,
had it in
easily.
talents. It could have ripped off of his fucking head, and the Crux chose not to. That's weird. But it did go straight for fucking Lou.
But it didn't go for Kathleen.
Mm-mm.
Where was Kathleen during the entire fight? Everybody else was accounted for, but not Kathleen. Like we knew there were mentions of Luella.
This is probably nothing too. I just am crazy brain here. He said, I crouched beside the figure, surveying it from head to toe for the 10th time. Once again, this is a real fucking reach. But 10th time, I just can't help it, just something in my brain, because this was supposed to be the 10th sparrow.
Migration.
hmm Probably crazy, but
Something to simmer on. We'll look into it.
10th time, that seemed like as a writer would be a random number.
With Devney, it just seems very intentional.
She fucking is a big nugget cow. So that's the fucking book.
She really is. Like, we did it.
We did
We
it.
went through a whole book and we both learned a lot again.
We sure did.
I'm ready. I'm ready for that next book because, like, I need all the answers to all these questions right now.
We have lots of questions. Basically, we're Odessa. Thanks for tuning in and joining us on our journey through Calandra. Our next episode on Shield of Sparrows will be our theories episode, which you know we love a theory. We have new episodes every Wednesday. If you love the podcast, please share to your stories and tag us.
Don't forget to follow us. Follow us.
Don't forget to
Follow us on social medias. Obviously, we'd love it when you write us reviews. All links are in our info, you giggling gal pals. Ta-ta for now.
follow.